All right, let's talk 2027 offensive tackles, Pete. Huge commitment here from a 27
Zaquan Linton.
Zaquan Linton out of Palm Beach Central, 6'6", 295 pounds.
That's a big boy.
Pete, you got the huddle ready? You want me to put it up?
I have the huddle ready, and well, let me pull up the commitment post first.
Let's pull up the commitment post. This was a lot of confusion with Zaquan Linton's commit because the bad signal didn't go out. As I understand, that was just sort of a timing deal, not intentional. Palm Beach Central offensive tackle, class of 27. Those guys are rising junior, 6'6", 295, committing to Miami. Miami's excited about this one. Pete, I know you got some info on him as we watch the film.
Yeah.
End of sophomore season film.
Yeah, so let me pull up, conversation I was having. This is a guy who, from what I understand, he alerted Miami staff. He alerted Miami staff that he was going to be committing last Friday. You see him here. This is a 15, 16-year-old kid who is very, very raw, but they think has incredible feet, lengthy, explosive. Needs to get in the weight room. This is his stuff at D tackle, but great bend. Developmental, and this is a guy you take a chance on a couple years out, as you see him here again. Needs to get in the weight room. There's some more impressive stuff here. You'll see his feet here, but look at the bend.
Yo, this tape is hilarious.
What, just dominating these
yeah,
youngins? Look at that right there. Boom.
Just manhandling folks.
There it is. That's Linton, baby.
He's just lying on dudes.
Yeah, you like the movement skills. Really, then what jumps out to me is
I think this is the one that I like this here. I like this here. I mean,
I think the size jumps out. 6'6", 295. Looks legit.
Was that a hold?
Wears it well. We're not calling it.
That wasn't the play I was talking about. It just his lateral movement at that size is impressive. Look at this.
Okay.
Look at
That's
this.
good. We like it. He needs to work on that.
He has no idea what he's doing technique-wise. He needs to get in the weight room. But you take a chance on an athlete and a body type on this.
No doubt.
Because look, he's going to either over the next year or so really start to take that. But look, I mean, his movement skills are
like a rock there.
Yeah, this guy's got the natural tools you want. I will say strength-wise is where I think you're going to see the biggest improvement. Sometimes he's got he just the hands and I would say hands and strength would be the area, just pure power. I don't see a lot of power right now, which is normal for this guy's he's 15, you heard, Pete?
Yeah.
About to be 16.
Yeah.
So I think that's the area where you want to see growth. But the stuff you can't coach, which is going to be that size, the fact that he doesn't have to lose a ton of weight, the length and flexibility, the twitch, those are all good things. You like that he goes both ways. Here's what I like here. Hustle, play, big hit. Watch him here. So does his job blocking. Quarterback throws a pick. Now watch the hustle here. Look at this, Mike.
Oh, he's looking to kill.
Look at he's already
looking to kill.
He's already creeping. Boom, kill shot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, those little things, and you hear scouts say it. I've heard scouts say this at the NFL level. Is one of the things they look at with players.
This quarterback's hair
is how they react on interceptions. Believe it or not, that's something that coaches look at with offensive players because they want to see guys flying down ready to hit somebody. I've heard that from NFL scouts. So, something you like to see.
Can I ask you something about Markel Bell? He was a guy that was raw, had obviously incredible measurables. When he was brought over to our team, obviously not a stiff competition when he walked over, was viewed as a raw prospect. Did you do a deep dive into some of his high school tape to see how raw he was?
Did.
And does that maybe give you some, we know our offensive line and our head coach are really good at developing these raw products. Markel Bell is being talked about as potentially a first-round draft pick. If he continues improving at the rate that he had in year one in Miami, the sky's the limit, really, for this player. I'm sure he looked really raw in high school, which would probably give you a reason to be optimistic anytime you see film like this, where obvious footwork issues, a guy that's very green.
And as Cooper developed as well, Matthew McCoy was a tight end at this age. So you've seen developmental stories. I would say with Bell in particular, really with Cooper as well, and I think with McCoy as well, but definitely with I don't know McCoy. I don't know him as much. I haven't sat down with him. Cooper, I've interviewed and talked to people around him. Markel Bell, the same. High IQ guys. They want to be coached, and they have the mental capacity to really take it all in. So I think the intangibles, when you're talking about a raw player, obviously you look at the tangibles because that's why you're intrigued by the player, the size, the athleticism, the things you can't coach. But I think when you're taking a raw player, you really have to evaluate the intangibles because that's what's going to allow him to meet his ceiling and learn that technique. If you get a guy who's raw, has all the physical tools, but the mental's raw too, it's harder to project him to get it together because you got to work it both ways. You got to try to teach him the technique and try to get him to care about the technique. Markel Bell watches film all day. He really wants to be coached. He doesn't run from coaching. He runs towards coaching. So I think, and I know nothing about Linton in that respect. Obviously, they coached him at the camp, so they're around him a little bit as a kid. But I think that's, to me, in general, when you're dealing with raw players, a raw guy with great intangibles, I'll take every day.
Pete, you got to know Markel a little bit. You did some content with him. What kind of season do you think he's in store for?
I mean, I've said since last year, there's a guy who I think could be a top 50 sort of pick. I think right now has a really, really good chance to be a top 100 sort of pick if he plays how he finished the season last year. And I know that a lot of people inside that building think he's taken that next step in terms of consistency. And look, if Miami wins a lot of games again, and the offensive line is in that, what is the Moore Award for the best O-line? Correct? That's what it is.
Yep.
They're in that mix again. Obviously, Francis has the hype around him, but
you already have Cantwell locked in.
Yeah, I just think that there's a chance that he could push to be a first-round pick.
Okay. Oh, well, what I was speaking to the greater thing, the development of Markel Bell is the reason why the Jackson Cantwells of the world come to Miami, because they want to get developed here at the next level. You mentioned intelligence being something that this staff keys in on. A player like Pancake Concho Sampson is a guy that maybe frustrates some Hurricanes fans because they just